What's up, Nerf Herders? Hope you're all doing well out there and having a great day. We just got done with The Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 2 from Marvel on Disney Plus. Marvel continues to crush it. We continue from last week, leaving off kind of with the cliffhanger with our new Captain America. So we're going to dive into this episode here, talk about it. Spoilers galore, so definitely go watch it before you come and watch this. Before we jump in everything here, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join us, please. And hit that bell for notifications. If you like the content, give the video a thumbs up, comment down below, do all that good stuff. This episode kicks right off here, pretty much with where we had left. We see our new Captain America here, John Walker, and he's kind of going back to his old high school because he's getting the big introduction right into center field with everything. But we kind of learn a little bit about this guy. He's got a history with the military. He's obviously a good guy, a hometown hero kind of person. And then we see him take center stage and get this interview on Good Morning America, and the dude just wants to help and kind of do his part. So, John Walker, let's talk about him.
But he's not a super soldier.
He is not. Yeah, we learned that. Even though he kind of fights like one, but he is not a super soldier that we know of yet.
It kind of, I like that they're kind of giving this dude, this backstory of like, okay, he grew up, watching Steve Rogers and he just wants to help and do his part. But it's really interesting because, like the way he fights and the way he's able to handle the Captain America shield, you think no normal person could do that. So it's really interesting that he's able to fight like that and use that shield as he does to, I don't know. If he's not a super soldier, then how the hell does he do it?
Yeah. It's like Spider-Man says in Civil War, dude. He's like, that thing defies the laws of physics or whatever. It's like, yeah, I guess it kind of does.
Yeah. But I mean, he's kind of just like this all-American guy. He's a top student, in West Point in the military, and they kind of just need this new face for I guess America, right? And I mean, we kind of learn more about him as the episode goes on. But it's a nice little intro as like this is just kind of like a little hometown guy, your small town rural America dude.
Yeah, exactly. And then they kind of are cutting back to Bucky, and then we see Sam and stuff. So there's clearly some animosity towards this happening, even though Sam gave up the shield. But Bucky clearly has an issue with this now because he knew that Steve gave that shield to Sam for a reason. And since Sam's not picking up the mantle and honoring it, he sees it as a disrespect to Steve Rogers. And he feels insecure about the situation because if Steve trusted to give that to Sam over Bucky and Sam gave it away, now he feels Steve doesn't look at him the way that he thought he really looked at him in this. So it's creating this interesting conflict between them, which I'm really enjoying because that's not where I thought the conflict was going to stem from when we saw the trailers. It just seemed like they're going to be at ends, but there's a legit reason for it now. It's not just, for the sake of having issues with each other. There's a deep-rooted thing, and that's because they both have a connection to Steve.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they have this really interesting relationship. It's like this love-hate relationship. One minute they can be joking with each other, and 1 minute they're at each other's throats.
Right.
It's almost like an odd couple feel. And it's kind of fun. I like how they kind of banter back and forth with each other. They're able to joke with each other, and they're always in competition with each other, And we see that as the episode progresses. But, what's really cool about this is this episode really opens us up to understanding that Steve Rogers and Bucky were not the only super soldiers made out there. And now we're getting introduced to these other super soldiers, and we're wondering where the hell they came from, who made them, what's their origin, and how are they, doing what they're doing.
Right. And it's intriguing because, once Bucky catches up with Sam and kind of just forces himself into the mission, just like, I'm tagging along. And we kind of get into this first, or really the big action sequence, I guess, of the episode, which was really badass how it was handled, dude, because I had to rewind it. I rewound it, dude, when like they had that panned out shot and you saw Bucky run around the back of the first truck. I was like, that looked so cool. But when Bucky jumps up, we kind of, see this whole thing starting to go down, and we really get the thing. It's not just this one guy that jumped out of the window. These guys all have super soldier serum in them, and we learn that as this battle goes on. They're all juiced up and stuff, and the only soldiers that we had known of up until this point was back in Civil War. We knew we had the other ones, the 5 that were created back then that Zemo just wiped out. There was no plan to bring them back. We get
Right.
introduced to this Isaiah character in here who was back in the old
Mhm.
plans. But all these newcomers now, like somehow they're getting juiced, and we don't know where this is coming from quite yet. But this battle sequence was so awesome, dude, on top of these trucks.
Yeah, it definitely kept me really interested. I kind of thought they blew their wad on the first episode with the budget on
Yeah,
the
dude.
on the action, but this one brought it, man. I mean, there was a few parts where I thought it was a little too like shaky, quick motion. Just it kind of like was hard to concentrate, but for the most part, the action and the choreography was freaking awesome, dude. I mean, they're battling on top of two semi trucks going back and forth, and it's just so cool how they do it because then you have Falcon coming in from the air, you have Bucky doing his thing, and then you get Captain America, he comes in to the mix with his little sidekick dude, and they're doing their thing. So it was really well done choreography on their part.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I was kind of surprised to see this new Cap and his dude show up into the battle. What I found really intriguing about that is going back to last week when we were kind of speculating on, where does this guy find his place? Well, he's got no problem getting his hands dirty with the situation, clearly.
Yep.
And I think how we kind of predicted last week, I think it's coming, dude. We're going to see this guy get killed or get in way too deep where it's going to be some public execution or something just super dramatic with this guy. But he's in there throwing the shield, dude. I mean, doing like some crazy Captain America stuff, dude. Like when his buddy drops off the truck and he's able to take the
Right.
shield and slide it under him, dude, so he has kind of a safe landing with everything.
Hmm.
Totally Captain America-esque, dude. And he got very lucky because when he gets kicked off the truck, dude, and lands on the windshield, I mean, that could have been lights
The
out for
car
him
was
right
there
there.
to break his fall. Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It kind of threw me off a little bit because it's like this is a normal dude, but he's doing some cool shit and he's doing
Yeah.
some Captain America-esque stuff, and the way he handles that shield. I was under the impression that really only Bucky was the only other person, you know what I mean, from like Civil War and stuff who could handle the shield like he did.
Yeah.
And then we see that this dude has the skills, but as the episode progresses, and you at the beginning you have this feel like, okay, he's this patriotic dude who's just trying to do his duty. But then as Sam and Bucky kind of resist his urge to join teams, he starts to become kind of a dick,
Right.
like
yeah,
his
he's got an arc throughout this episode.
right. His true nature kind of comes out near the end where he's just like, you know what, like you guys either are going to join me or you can get out of my way,
Right.
like I'm the captain now.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, well, this dude just went from 0 to 100, and now I feel like that's going to go into the next episode as now he's super confident that he's the guy, but he's going to get a real big taste of reality when these flag stompers or whatever the hell they're called like beat the shit out of him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah, it's going to be intriguing for sure because as you got to that last interaction that they had, it almost, the way that the music cued and everything, it almost gave you a vibe like he's got a different motive, which it should or could still be there. But the thing that was interesting is when they were battling and stuff, if he was a part of this and he's trying to play it off, then it doesn't work out so well where you get the scene where like they're getting kicked off the truck. So I don't think he's in cahoots with, these flag smashers or whatever,
No.
but there probably could be a tie to something else that we haven't seen yet because it was definitely an ominous way that he kind of made his exit out of this episode. And I
think he
love,
just has this like superiority complex, like
Sure.
all eyes are on him. I'm the man now. Like it's my time to shine. And I think it's all getting to him. I think all the fame is getting to him because everywhere he goes, he's signing autographs. He's taking fucking pictures. It's like he's a model instead of an actual soldier. And I think that's gonna really play into his ego as that series progresses.
Yeah, and it could too, man, because they kind of foreshadowed that a little bit in that opening segment of the episode because he kind of was like, this isn't really what I thought I signed up for. And his dude's like, that's all part of the job, though, man. So, like, it could be totally fueling that ego, especially given who he is, his importance to the military and his, home school and all that. That could totally be a thing, dude. And he's going to get his ass killed. Like, it's going to
Totally.
happen. I think it's going to happen.
That
And
would be cool, dude. Yeah, like they get him on camera to the whole world, like public execution style. Like this is your captain,
right,
like,
dude, exactly.
This little piece of shit.
It'll be like Kick-Ass, dude, like how they did the Kick-Ass execution and
Yes.
stuff, dude.
Yep.
Something wild like that. And we go meet this Isaiah character, which just comes out of nowhere. Bucky's like, we got to go talk to somebody. And it's just like, okay, well, who's dropping in? It's just like just this random dude that Bucky knew back in the 50s and got into a tiff because they sent this guy after Bucky at some point, and he's just been living out his years now. So this guy is like totally souped up, and he's just chilling, dude, in this community.
Yeah, that was pretty intense, dude, because he basically is just like, all right, the only two reasons I let you into my house were number one, I like wanted to get a look at you, and then
Right.
number two, like I'm expecting you to come kill me. You know,
Right,
like he's
exactly.
waited 50, 60 years for Bucky to return
He's
because
like Michael Myers,
essentially,
dude.
yeah, like this dude was the assassin, 60 years ago to kill Bucky. And now he's like, okay, Bucky's here to kill me now. Like he's here to enact his revenge.
Right.
But it was super intense because basically this really is the one point where it really opens up that like, hey, this was a whole thing. There's other super soldiers out there, and this was one of them. And I don't know. It really helped to kind of understand that this is a bigger picture than we thought it was.
Yeah. How deep does this
Um,
super soldier rabbit hole go at this point? Because we're
and
we're
how many
diving
like
in.
organizations, how many world governments were in on it, right?
Yeah.
Because at first we just thought it was Shield and Hydra, and he refers to Bucky with like the whole like your people like quote, but he wasn't talking about Bucky being a white guy. He was talking about Bucky being Hydra.
Right.
So it makes you think like, okay, well, what other organizations may have been around back then that were toying with this serum, and how has it gotten to this modern day, group, right?
Right. Because yeah, now obviously it's somewhere accessible on the black market for these organizations and stuff to get their hands on. And I'm wondering if Isaiah is going to play in more. I feel like there's more to that setup there than just the sake, because we didn't get much information out of that outside of the fact that the guy exists. So
Right.
they kind of leave the place. He's pissed. Get out of my house. They end up leaving. We get a run in with the cops. Bucky gets arrested, which is all kind of set up to get the therapist back into the conversation here. And we get this really comedic sequence with the therapist,
Yeah.
Bucky, and Sam that played off really well, I thought.
Yeah, like I said, I like the banter back and forth. I like that they're always challenging each other. I thought it was kind of funny that, the therapist was trying to do these little mind games and these little exercises with them, and they're both just like, fuck this, this is
Yeah.
stupid. And then she finally like has them staring at each other, looking at each other, and they're just having a staring competition, like it's
Yeah.
all competitions, like who's better, who's the alpha in this relationship, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was hilarious. And then that kind of brings us to the final confrontation with Captain America.
Yeah, exactly, dude. You get that last little mini kind of tiff out there. Sam is basically just like, you know what? We don't need you. We kind of operate on our own. We don't got to go through the red tape that you guys have to. We can kind of just sneak in. We'll do it on our own. And obviously, they're kind of piggybacking off of Sam because they had to tap into Red Wing to kind of get around to see everything, anyways, and see where they were at. So they're kind of like, yeah, we're going to do our own thing. And then he's just straight up, dude, just like, you know what? If that's how it's going to be, then you all just stay the hell out of my way. And it's just, well,
Yeah.
okay, now you're kind of being a little confrontational there, pal. So it's going to be interesting where they choose to run with this guy now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting you say that because, Captain America totally just hacked into the Falcons, gear to like get the lead on these guys. Like,
Right.
he had no clue what to do. He actually had to like ride on the coattails of Falcon and Winter Soldier to
Right.
get where he was going. And I wonder if they're going to continue to do that. You know what I mean? I wonder if he's going to continue to monitor Falcon and Winter Soldier's, activity, and then he's going to show up and try to be the hero.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna it's gonna be like Carrie Ellis, dude, like hunting down Bill Paxton in Twister, dude. That's what they're gonna turn this relationship
Yeah,
into.
dude.
Sam and Bucky are gonna be on the lead, dude, and he's just gonna be kind of sneaking in on the sides with everything, dude.
He's gonna be, dude, they're gonna be driving next to each other, and be like, Captain America, son of a bitch.
Yeah, dude. Dorothy, you stole Dorothy, god damn it. Dude, that's what they'll kind of roll with it. And then we finally get where, where I want to see this go so bad, dude. Where they're just like, all right, like you're just gonna go drop into this room and talk to this dude, and of course they're talking about Zemo, dude, and they just end it with that
Yes.
quick lingering shot on Daniel Bruhl right there, dude. God, I'm so pumped to see him come back, dude. I'm so excited.
I really love that they're gonna link it back to Winter Soldier. Like I'm
Yep.
really digging that because, dude, Man, I love the Avengers, dude, and I love the MCU, man. But like Winter Soldier's the man, dude. He's the most badass dude in this universe, and
Yep.
I just think anything we can get about that dude's origin and his backstory and anything that we can get out of him is perfect. And this dude used to control him. So it's like, okay, bring him back. Let's see what he knows about Hydra, about all the secret experiments and everything else going on.
Dude, 100%, man. And I will swear this up and down. I will argue this to anybody, dude. Zemo was an amazing villain for Civil War. There's so many people that give him flack, but if you
Yep.
really look at Zemo and what he was able to accomplish, just this Sokovian guy, dude, who was just
Hmm.
hell-bent on revenge, was able to psychologically get into the heads of the Avengers, turn them against each other, and if that
Right.
doesn't happen, Infinity War probably doesn't happen because everybody was disbanded because of the events that Zemo created in Civil War. And if that doesn't happen, does Thanos drop in and does he accomplish everything he was trying to do? Maybe, maybe not, dude. I mean, Zemo's
Makes you think.
kind of responsible. Like, it's a big deal that he caused in Civil War.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think it's a definitely a great argument that, the Avengers were so weak that that's the reason why Thanos succeeded,
Yep.
and it was all due to this one guy. So, he was controlling Winter Soldier, and he did all these different things to make, all the Avengers pitted against each other. You got Black Panther going against, Steve Rogers because Steve Rogers wants to cover Bucky's ass and shit like that. So
Yep.
I think it'll be cool to bring him back, and I'd be even more interested if he played more mind games.
Yeah,
Like
that's what
he's
I
still
can't
up to
wait
his
for.
he's up to his old tricks again. So
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool to bring that into this story, especially if he could maybe even like put a rift between Bucky and Sam,
Something,
and
dude.
put them against each other. I don't know, dude. It'll be crazy.
Yeah, you know he's pulling strings somewhere. Like with him being locked up, some way somehow he's still pulling some strings somewhere, and there's going to be puzzle pieces coming together with him. And I'm just pumped to see this kind of get laid out, dude. He's a great character. Daniel Bruhl just owns it. I'm excited to see the comic, actual costume come to play in here, dude. It's going to be exciting. I'm really pumped for this next episode to see what these conversations look like. And the second episode was great, dude. Great again, man. They're doing such a good job with this show here. Where would you put this against the first episode? Like, how do you feel between first and second episode right now?
I mean, I think it was just as good, honestly.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't think the momentum let up at all. I think it was just as strong as the first, and I think we're going to see the same thing as the entire series progresses. Um, I think they've done a really good job establishing the stories and continuing it going. I mean, there's no filler thus far. You know what I mean?
All killer, no filler,
Um,
dude.
yeah, dude, there's no filler, and I like that because with other properties like The Mandalorian, some of the episodes you kind of felt like, okay, this is just some filler, this is some fluff. I'm not really digging this as much. These two episodes have been 10 out of 10 for me. Just straight
Yep.
balls to the wall. So
I'm with you 100%, dude. I love how they're progressing the story. I love the character. Everything like we said last week, dude. The characters being fleshed out and giving us, more than just what their superhero personality is, but more of like who they really are and everything. I love that we're seeing that a little bit more from the inside. I'm really pumped to see where they go with this here. We've got 4 more episodes. This one's a little bit shorter than what we got with WandaVision. However, these episodes are longer, but we got 4
right.
more episodes coming up. We will be here to talk about all of them. Again, guys, if you are new to Nerf Herders Studios, hit that subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. If you enjoyed the content, give a thumbs up, comment down below. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on the series and this episode. And are you excited for Zemo? Because I don't give a fuck if you don't like him. Fuck off. He's going to be an amazing character. Zemo's awesome, dude. He's a great villain. And we will see you all in the next video.